Anyhow, if one desires it, or that to say that usually, especially from the second washing of 2 months of wear onwards, one shall notice even if little things like little buttons to sew back on, maybe a buttonhole to repair, a few, and you want to do it then because once it is touched it cannot be sewn into or to damage it a lot, and you want to do it because even if it is simply a little a seam unplugging itself, you might think it does not matter, nobody will see that, yes, but then especially once touched it might suddenly caught onto the button of something, or just caught onto something, and suddenly and the whole seam is gone. So you want to repair that. It will add less work in the future. So all that process usually involves hard work washing it, hard work, at least for someone like me, repairing it. If you are into making your entire clothing, it will be easy for you. But if you get somebody to do it and you do not like sewing, it will also feel like hard work and you will not be that good. So to make it a minimum properly, it has to be done by hand and it takes more time. And then much harder work, not than sewing, but then washing, usually. Or at least as much hard work starching it. And then the hardest work of all. So starching is about as hard as washing it, but usually longer. Because it has to be entirely done by hand. And then the hardest work of all is ironing it, and it has to be done the same day. So then you have to starch it. I explained the whole technique of doing it. If you want the entire shirt to be starched, you can't really starch as the cut and the color, then do not starch anything. What I would do is, because usually some people are like, get removable collars and cuffs, and even a removable bosom, and only get a shirt to basically attach them on. Yes, you can do that. But then if you, and instead wear that, but then it is not upper class. If you want upper class, go full length and have it with a soling collar. I will explain why and what type of soling collar you need. Get soling cuffs. Why? Because even after a week you might want to wear detachable cuffs. You don't have to do things completely one way or another. Especially if it is a white shirt or let's say a white background shirt with thin pencil, light blue striped lines, it will be almost like a purely white shirt and look disgusting very quickly. Now, it's just not completely as quickly as a white shirt. So you may really want to have it removable collar and cuffs to prolong it looking clean. Below so it will still look clean as long as you put new cuffs and collar, fresh cuff and fresh collar. The bosom is fine because the bosom you will wear an undershirt, and except if you are a complete twit eating tomato spaghettis without a napkin, wear a napkin like a baby when you eat. Remove your coat and wear a napkin like me, like a baby, and on your lap to make sure it will not get dirty. And then how much you perspire, it will not. The bosom is made like the cuff, but it will not touch your chest. You would have an undershirt there. Especially if things are made, you might as well get the length of having them made the proper size, and like the undershirt that belonged to my father, which is a bit, where it falls down. Ideally the undershirt should reach up to there. Some of them even have a small collar, especially for winter, which adds protection. But really, as long as it goes up to there, it will be fine. The bosom will look clean. Even after a month, it will be the part that looks the cleanest of the entire shirt. Not and the part that looks the dirtiest will be the cuff and the collar. So whether they be cuff bands just to take removable cuffs or actual cuffs. Now, even if you go for the option of detachable cuffs, if you are going to have it made, whether by yourself or by somebody else, have proper cuffs, not like this long, like this long. And if you are into high collars, get a collar, sort of collar, not a collar band just to take removable collars, but a collar like that one, exactly like this one, or no, ideally exactly the same height on you. It should look the same height on your neck. Obviously, I have a very long neck, so if you have a shorter neck, make it shorter, but like this. But instead, make this tongue, it's called a collar tongue, the thing that buttons on top, make it longer and have it button like here, so it really wraps this. And this thing also can take detachable collars easily, because it is if you only wear the high ones, like at a minimum a bit higher, because if they are exactly the same height, it will end up showing and looking dumb. And so what is the advantage? Is because if you are going to have a shirt that is starched, because you want the bosom starched and you may want the calf starched, but you also have like my antique ones, because I get used pieces that all have a collarbone, I also have to bother myself starching that collarbone and ironing it, so it adds more work. Whereas there, it adds more work for what? Because nobody sees it. Whereas there, this will be seen for the first week before it looks very dirty. And then it will be used as a collarbone, so basically this one would take a start. If you make your own stuff, do not, like some people say, have a stop pocket for the front. This is so impractical if it is starched. If you want a very starched shirt, it becomes very impractical to button, because usually you have to button this first, and then you cannot really control that by putting your hand below, and also that actually when it starched. So that is the reason for which they never had a stop pocket in the front. It was only for the back, and people said it would be more comfortable for the neck. But anyhow, the stud itself was never metal. Usually the base was of the stud was a plastic, or for upper classes, mother of pearl, which is not cord, so it was not for comfort. It was a bit for comfort, but mostly because in the back, having to only go through 2 layers when you wear removable collar, first the collar of the shell, whether it be collarbone, whatever, and then the one layer of the removable collar. It is not enough support, and especially when it moves like that, it may fall down and one will lose a stud. That is the reason for which there was a collar, a stud pocket in the back of the collar. So do a stud pocket for the back of the collar, and no stud pocket for the front. And then, what you will do, you have a collar like that. It is starched in a starched shirt. Have long cuffs, longer than these. At least those, but I would go with longer, at least like that or longer. And then make all your removable cuffs as long as those, because if you have things made for you, or have them at least that length, because maybe you want different styles and you want some that open up, and so you think if the long cuffs on my actual shirt are solid and do not open up, then it will show beneath. True. So then have them that length, starch those, have them made, unlike those, have them made to take what I call cuff studs, which have like cufflinks. So 2 buttonholes. The same for the collar, the same for the shirt. For that era, you may wish to have a coat shirt, like a modern shirt, or a pullover one like that. If you want a very starched, obviously the coat shirt is more practical, because especially when it has just been starched and it is worn for the first time, it is so hard to get unless there's a pullover. I know how to do it. So, and also with a coat shirt, you have the advantage it existed since at least the mid-80s, or actually it existed since before. The advantage of the coat shirt is that it can be cinched in much more. It can be cinched in, especially when made to measure for you with a pullover shirt, but it has less. It cannot be as cinched in. So I did have a coat shirt. If you want a very starch, have it buttoned in the back. And then you have genuine buttons in the back. Not starch, because they will get loose, because you only have a placket to button it. And don't just button the top one. Some people do that. I think it is impractical, because then this thing gaps open, it will, in the front it buttons up. Some of them have actually a whole row of buttons. No studs at all, unless for the collar. Then you need a longer collar stud, and then you have a stop pocket in the back. But still no stop pocket in the front. Just trust me with that, because in that case, actually, in the front, you even less want a stop pocket, because it would be super hard to button a collar, because then the removable collar has to, because you wear it like that, the removable collar cannot be buttoned in the back. If that was the case, especially if you have short hair, it would show that it's buttoned in the back and it would look dumb and stupid. Normally a collar is buttoned in the front, so you would have them, the one that looks the most real, because ideally you should button your shirt in the front. So to have a proper trick is to actually have it to button in the front, but still button it in the back. So basically it can be buttoned in the front. Does that mean you should still pull it on and button it? Then I would kill the whole point. The point of that is that then you can carefully insert the studs in the front into 1 or 2. If you are very tall, you might want to go for 3 to increase height. No, actually, the taller you are, the less studs you should have to look shorter, but never mind. Whichever how many studs you have, you insert them, so button the front prior to wearing, so it gets less wrinkle at the bosom. Pull it on like that, and either you are dexterous like me, you manage to button it. If it starts to be very difficult, you might want somebody to button it. That's the reason for which most of them only button on the top, because it's so difficult. Most people will not even button them in the back. You need really help to do that. and then you have to put the collar. But for the first wear,